Alright, the blood groups of humans. Let's look at the ABO blood grouping first before we look into the rhesus factor. So as you all know, we have these four groups, four types of blood group, which is A, B, AB, and O. So the transfusion of blood donation, it all depends on the compatibility of the blood group of between the donor and also the recipient. Okay, because the recipient has the antibodies in the blood serum that can act against the antigen on the red blood cells of the donor. Okay, later on we are going to look at the picture. It will give you a clearer picture on it. And if we say that the donor and receiver is not compatible or incompatible, what will happen is that the red blood cells of the recipient will experience agglutination, which is a form of defense mechanism, and there will be a coagulation of the blood, and this is dangerous and might lead to death. Okay, let's recall what is plasma. Do you still remember the plasma component? 55% of it, okay, as compared to the blood cells, which comprise only 45% of our blood. So plasma is a pale yellow liquid part of the blood and mainly made up of water, about 90%, and the rest are dissolved solutes. Okay, what is blood serum? Because just now we have this term blood serum, where it has got the antibodies. So this blood serum is actually same as the blood plasma, except that these clotting factors such as fibrin have been removed. Okay, now this is the picture showing the blood group A. Let's look at the first one, the blood group A. So blood group A has got antigen on the red blood cells. As you can see, this triangle, the blue triangle on it, and it has got the antibody in the blood serum, which is anti-B. Okay, so for the B, has got the antigen B, and you see the antigen B, and has got the anti-A antibodies in the serum, anti-A antibody. And blood group AB has got both antigen A and antigen B on the red blood cells, but there are no antibodies at the blood serum. But how about blood group O? There are no antigens on the red blood cells, but there are antibodies, both anti-B and also anti-A antibodies in the blood serums. And therefore, we say this blood group AB, because there are no antibodies in the serum, they can receive blood from all types of blood group, you see? So they are also known as the universal recipient because no antibodies will react on the antigen of their donor. But unlike blood group O, they have no antigens on the red blood cells, but they have the anti-A and anti-B antibody, which will then react to the antigen of other blood group types, and therefore blood group O can only receive blood from its own blood group, but they can donate to all other blood groups. They can donate to all other blood groups because they have no antigen, and therefore they are known as the universal donor. Alright, so how about this grouping of a blood group rhesus factor? Okay, actually there is another antigen found on the surface of the red blood cells. Okay, and this type of grouping is known as the rhesus factor. So it is whether rhesus positive or rhesus negative. So the red blood cells of individual with the Rh factor or the antigen D are known as rhesus factor. And those who do not have this rhesus factor or antigen B, they are known as the rhesus negative. So if blood of the rhesus positive donor mix with the blood of rhesus negative recipient, what will happen is that this blood of the recipient will react by producing rhesus antibody, and that is anti-D antibody. Okay? But then, if the recipient is to receive another dose of Rh positive blood, this rhesus antibody will cause agglutination, okay, of the donor blood cell, and this may result in death of the recipient. Okay, let's look at the example. This is the common ones where you have the erythroblastosis fetalis. Okay, now this is the condition. Usually problems will arise when the mother is rhesus negative, marries a father who is rhesus positive, conceives an Rh positive fetus. Okay, so during the last months of pregnancy, the fragments of the fetal blood containing antigen D, okay, because the baby is rhesus positive. Okay, let's recall just now we said those who are rhesus positive. Rhesus positive, they have antigen D, isn't it? Now this baby has antigen D. Okay, cross the placenta, enter to the blood circulation of the mother. So what will happen is that the white blood cells in the mother's blood will react. Okay, the condition just now we said if the Rh positive donor mixed with the Rh positive, Rh negative recipient. So this is the case. What will happen is that the mother's blood will produce anti-D antibodies, and that it will flow back to the placenta in the fetal blood circulatory system. So what happens is these antibodies will destroy the red blood cells of the Rh positive baby before or immediately after birth. But not to worry if this is the first pregnancy, because the concentration of the antibodies produced is not enough, and usually it's not enough to affect the first child. Okay, but the anti-D antibodies will last in the blood circulatory system of the mother. Okay, so the mother now has got these anti-D antibodies already. Now this is where the problem arises. It's when the second child is also Rh positive. So these anti-D antibodies that are already in the blood of the mother will cross the placenta, destroy the red blood cells in the fetus, and these symptoms of the disease are called erythroblastosis fetalis. Okay, so erythroblastosis fetalis, and cause the second fetus die if the blood is not replaced with Rh negative blood through blood transfusion. Alright, so in a less serious situation, the baby may suffer from anemia and maybe some mental retardation, but however, this problem can now be addressed by treating the affected mother with anti-rhesus globulins after the first pregnancy, and this is to stop the formation of the anti-D antibody in the blood of the mother. Okay, you look at the indicator here.